Welcome to Tails Nexus, the only place where no two intro sequences are ever the same. Today, I've decided to skip the usual opening montage because, well, I just didn't feel like it. The topic of today's video, we're talking about Tails' lesser known abilities. We all know he's a very capable little fox who can do a lot of cool stuff, but there's more to him than meets the eye. Who knows, maybe you know all these abilities off by heart, or maybe there's one in here that'll catch you by surprise. But before we dive into the secret sauce, let's start with the basics, just to get us all on the same page. Let's kick things off by going over what Tails is already known for. You know, the stuff your nan might remember if she accidentally played Sonic 2 once in the 90s. First up, we've got the classic twin tail spin. Tails can rotate his two tails like a helicopter rotor and use them to lift off the ground and fly. I'm not talking about a small hop either. This guy gains actual altitude. He can scout out the battlefield, save Sonic from falling into a pit, or just flex on physics in general. Granted, he can't keep it up forever. He's got a normal fox metabolism, not a jet engine. But the sheer utility of this move makes it iconic. And speaking of flying, he also knows how to fly. No, I'm not repeating myself. I mean actual aircraft. Tails is basically the aviation prodigy of the Sonic universe. If it's got wings, a cockpit, or anything vaguely resembling an engine, he can fly it. The Tornado? That's his. The Tornado 2? Also his. The weird hovercraft thing from Sonic Riders? Probably fixed it in his sleep. Sonic may be the fearless hero, but when it comes to air travel, even he takes the passenger seat. That's how much trust he's got in Tails. The guy's basically an 8-year-old who skipped flying school and became your personal pilot. Oh, and let's not forget his gadgetry. While not always front and center, Tails is constantly whipping out devices like communicators, scanners, and little robots that somehow fix problems mid-cutscene. His brain might just be faster than Sonic's legs, and that's saying something. So yeah, Tails is known for flying, piloting, inventing, and generally being the kind of sidekick who makes you wonder if maybe he should be the main character sometimes. But who cares about all that? You're not here to hear me ramble about the stuff everyone already knows. You're here for the good stuff. The lesser known, underappreciated, wait, he can do that? Abilities that make Tails a total powerhouse in his own right. So, let's dive into some of those hidden talents. And hey, if there's an ability you didn't know about, or if there's a personal favorite I do or don't mention, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear which Tails moment blew your mind. Sound familiar? No? That's fair. It's only ever shown to us 3 times. Twice in an iconic game, Sonic Heroes, and once in a game everyone wishes they could memory wipe, Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. You might argue it doesn't count as a true ability since it's technically one of Tails' many inventions, but I say it's too cool not to include, so we're talking about it. The dummy ring bomb is pure brilliance. It takes something we normally associated with life-saving and health, rings, and flips it into a weapon of deception. Tails literally weaponizes the symbol of survival. Honestly, that's something even Eggman hasn't pulled off, and he's thrown everything at Sonic, including the kitchen sink. Now, technically this move isn't exclusive to Tails. Rouge the Bat also uses it, which begs the question, how did she get her hands on it? Did she steal it? Reverse engineer it? Buy it from a black market chow dealer? Who knows? But what we do know is that it fits for both of them, surprisingly well. For Tails, it's a showcase of his clever gadget-loving mind. But for Rouge, it's another tool in her sneaky, sabotage-focused arsenal. Mechanically speaking, the dummy ring bomb lets Tails launch a cluster of fake rings that detonate on contact with enemies. Bonus, they're smart bombs. They know who the bad guys are, so they won't harm Sonic or his pals. Which is probably good, because knowing Sonic, he'd try to catch them mid-battle thinking he just scored bonus health. Bottom line, it's underused, underappreciated, and criminally underrated. More dummy ring bombs, please. Now, I'm not saying Tails is out here powerlifting death eggs or giving Knuckles a run for his money in a strongman contest, but let's give this little dude some serious credit, because when you actually break down the stuff he carries, moves, and builds, it starts to paint a picture that's less adorable sidekick and more quietly shredded genius. First off, let's put Sonic Heroes in a timeout for a second. Not because I hate it, I don't, I swear, but because if we're talking raw strength feats, Tails kinda gets clowned on by the other flight types. I mean, Charmy Bee's out here lifting Vector, who is canonically built like a bouncer at a nightclub. Rouge is carrying Shadow and Omega, 2 characters who look like they weigh as much as actual tanks, and Cream, that sweet little bunny, is holding Big the Cat. Compared to all that, Tails doesn't look so impressive. Until you remember everything else. Let's circle back to Movie Knuckles for a second. This guy proudly declares he's 1,000,000% muscle. Assuming Sonic's world follows any kind of physics, big assumptions, I know, that would put Knuckles somewhere around 400 metric tons of raw echidna meat, and Tails just flies him around. Sure, he struggles, but who wouldn't struggle to carry 400 metric tons? Yeah, I'll let that one settle for a moment. But beyond all that hypothetical math, let's look at the consistent stuff. Tails flies Sonic around regularly. Sonic, the guy who can destroy robots with a spin and has the stamina to run across continents. He's not exactly light, but Tails carries him with zero complaint. While flying, in battle, in bad weather, mid-monologue, you name it. That's not just endurance, that's strength. And that's just carrying people. What about his actual job? He's a mechanic, engineer, inventor, and pilot. He works with aircraft. Have you ever tried lifting a plane part? Even a small one? That's not a grab it and go situation. That's a get a crew in a jacklift ordeal. But Tails just does it. Alone, rebuilding tornado planes, operating full garages, hauling spaceship parts, repairing battle drones. And we never see him use heavy machinery to help. No cranes, no forklifts, just two tails, a wrench, and probably a concerning amount of upper body strength. Even when he's not lifting literal tech, he's tossing bombs, piloting mechs, hauling tools, and sometimes dragging Sonic out of trouble physically. It's the kind of strength that flies under the radar because he's not showboating about it, but it's there. And honestly, it makes him more impressive. He doesn't need to brag. His strength is built on utility, not ego. So, while Tails might never punch a mountain into gravel like Knuckles, or hold a robot overhead like Big in a comedy gag, he's functionally one of the strongest kids in the franchise. He's a flying mechanic genius who can toss explosives, lug a toolbox the size of a small car, and carry the literal weight of the story when needed. And you know what? That's pretty dang cool. Here's a fun little detail that often goes unnoticed. Tails has a surprisingly electric history. And no, I don't just mean his personality. I'm talking full-blown zap zap, shooty sparks, fried circuits kind of electricity. You might not associate him with that at first, but if you dig through the franchise's many titles, there's a running theme of Tails using electricity-based attacks, even if Sega themselves couldn't quite decide if they wanted to commit to it. Why electricity though? It's a clean thematic tie-in. Tails is a technological genius, an engineer, inventor, hacker, pilot, mechanic, so giving him a power source that represents advancement and scientific control kinda makes sense. Harnessing electricity is the kind of thing that screams, I read blueprints for breakfast, which Tails absolutely would. So, let's dive in. First up, Sonic Battle. Now, this is where we get the criminally underused arm cannon. Seriously, Sega, bring that back. One of Tails' ranged moves in this game lets him shoot what's officially called an energy ball. Is it explicitly electricity? Not technically, but come on, it's a glowing yellow orb that zaps opponents on impact. If that's not electric flavored, then neither is Pikachu. Next, Sonic Heroes. Tails' entire gimmick is Thunder Shoot. It's in the name. It's not Breeze Shoot or Gentle Encouragement Shoot, it's Thunder. You launch your teammates as electrified projectiles to stun enemies, hit switches, and cause some delightful chaos. There are literal sparks flying. We are beyond speculation here. This is textbook video game electricity. Still not convinced? Alright, enter Sonic Riders. In this game, Tails' trick-style attacks involve pulling out a literal power cord and zapping his opponents mid-air with shocking results. Forget wrenches and gadgets, this kid straight up weaponized your phone charger. That's innovation! And it doesn't even stop there. In Tails Adventure, the game where you pilot the Sea Fox, adorable name by the way, you can actually electrify the water to fry enemies. Because sure, building a submarine wasn't impressive enough, Tails made it double as a tactical aquatic taser, just casually flexing his ability to weaponize ocean currents. So yeah, while Sega never fully locked in Electric Boy as part of Tails' core identity, the evidence is scattered all over the franchise like loose bolts in his workshop. It's a recurring theme. Maybe it never became his signature element, but electricity has definitely been one of his tools, and a stylish one at that. And honestly, that kind of quiet consistency across multiple games, that earns a spot in this list. Tails doesn't need thunderous branding or lightning logos, he'll just zap you when you least expect it, and probably build a solar battery while he's at it. Now, let's talk about something truly super. Tails' transformation into a chaos-fueled powerhouse. That's right, he's got a super form. OG fans probably already knew this, and remember just how tedious it was to unlock. But if you're sitting there thinking, wait, what? Do you mean Super Tails is a thing? Yeah, I don't blame you. Because out of the 100 plus Sonic games out there, our boy gets to go golden in just 4. Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Superstars, and Sonic Mania. That's it, 4 games. 4 chances for Tails to show us he glows brighter than just being Sonic's +1. Now, most of us, especially the spitefully curious ones, discovered Super Tails the fun way. You see Super Sonic flexing on everyone, get hit with the if it were Tails it would be better mentality, sift through the ocean waves of the internet, and boom! Surprise Golden Fox, instant dopamine. In Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Tails doesn't go super with just the Chaos Emeralds. Nah, he needs the Super Emeralds. The emeralds after they've had their morning protein shake. Once you've got them, you unlock not just glowing fur, but the Flicky Armada, a literal squadron of golden birds that orbit Tails and annihilate anything on screen like a chaos-fueled drone. I'm not joking. Super Tails turns into a glowing war general with air support. Meanwhile, Super Sonic's just running faster. Not even that, he's flying. Wow. So technically, on paper, Super Tails might be stronger than Super Sonic. I'm just saying, when your power-up comes with its own entourage, that's gotta count for something. Now you might be asking, why can't Tails go super with the regular Chaos Emeralds in that game? Great question. Simple answer. He's already super in our hearts. But also, Sega said no. Until that is Sonic Mania and Superstars, where they finally let Tails go super with just the normal emeralds. Progress! No more having to beg the Master Emerald for permission. Sadly though, no Dark Tails. Trust me, I've searched. No Edgelord Fox transformation, no tragic villain arc, no black and red palette swap with thunderclouds and screaming guitars. Yet. But hey, maybe if we stack enough emotional trauma on him, Sega might give in. One really bad Tuesday and we can have an evil Tails powered by grief and jet engines. So while Tails' super form might be rare, it's a glorious reminder that this kid isn't just tagging along for the ride. He can absolutely hold his own when the Chaos energy starts flowing. Alright, let's talk about something that might seem simple on the surface. Swimming. Yeah, I know, not exactly a Chaos Emerald level power, but hear me out. For anyone who's ever played a Sonic game, you know how stressful water levels can be. That ominous drowning music kicks in, you're panicking, mashing jump, and praying for a bubble, then relief. You realize you're playing as Tails. Suddenly, water's not a death sentence, it's just another playground. Now sure, swimming isn't groundbreaking in most franchises, but in Sonic, it's a superpower. And here's the kicker, Tails was the first character to consistently swim. Sonic canonically can't. Knuckles didn't learn until Sonic Adventure 2. Maybe all that treasure hunting taught him something. But Tails, this guy's been paddling since the early days. No armbands required. And it's not just a one-off thing either. Tails being able to swim is consistent across multiple games in 2D and 3D alike. Sega has made it clear, Tails can swim and they're cool with that. Which, in the Sonic universe, is almost like saying this character has flight, electricity manipulation, engineering genius, and aquatic competence. That's OP in this world. But let's be real, it's also ridiculously adorable. Have you seen the way he swims? That little doggy paddle animation? Peak wholesome energy. It's less battle-hardened adventurer and more your excited younger sibling splashing in the pool. And I love it. So while it may not be the flashiest ability on the list, it's an important one. It showcases Tails' versatility, his unique role in gameplay, and the fact he isn't afraid of a little water, unlike some hedgehogs we could name. Yeah, bet that one got you sitting up straight, didn't it? Tails, the two-tailed gadget-toting cinnamon roll, faster than light? Oh yeah, we're going there. And no, I'm not talking about Sonic Shuffle. Sorry to disappoint the 5 people who played that one without screaming. This little nugget of insanity actually dates way back, before Eggman, before Tornado upgrades, before even meeting Sonic. I'm talking about Tails' Adventure. In this often overlooked Game Gear title, our fox friend builds something called the Teleport device. Sounds harmless, right? Just a neat quality of life feature so you can return to base. Wrong! This thing breaks the universe. Unlike Shadow's Chaos Control, which, let's be honest, is just him moving so fast it looks like teleporting, Tails' teleport device doesn't simulate speed. It bypasses speed altogether. This is real teleportation. No motion blur, no time delay, just poof, and you're back home. Now here's where it gets terrifying. It doesn't matter if Tails is 50 meters away or 50 light years. The amount of time it takes for him to get back to his house? 0 seconds flat. That's not just fast, that's casually obliterating the known laws of physics. Why is that a big deal? Well, if you move any measurable distance in exactly 0 time, you're not just faster than light, you're operating outside the rules that govern time and space. Light, gravity, causality, all of it? Tails flips him the bird and goes home. You're telling me this kid, this fucked child, built a god-tier teleportation device in his workshop in the woods with no fanfare, no emeralds, and presumably no idea he just became the apex threat to universal constants? And Sega's just like, yup, that's fine. You thought the tornado was impressive? This lad invented practical faster than light travel before he could legally rent a movie. And that's a wrap. Well, kinda. Let's be real. Tails has so many underrated abilities that I probably haven't scratched the surface. There's a whole world of unexplored Tails lore out there, and it's very likely I've missed a few deep cuts. But hey, that's what you are for. If you want to see more of the Fluffy King's hidden powers, then scream it into the void that is my YouTube comment section. I dare you. Like the video? Smash that like button to show your love. Want to hear more from your local madman rambling about a two-tailed box again? Hit that subscribe button and stay in the loop. And until someone else finally figures out how to do a proper breaststroke, until Sega remembers that electricity isn't just a one-off gimmick, until Tails casually dismantles Riot again like it's just a regular Tuesday, this has been Tails Nexus. Keep flying high.